Hey everyone, how's it going? Sorry about that.
Hi, Jeff.
My daughter's Zoom got logged out for her school, so I had to go figure out what her username and password was again. Let me go ahead and open this. We can go through any agenda items that we have. I'll just share this screen. All right. Here we go. Let me open up this to make sure I can see who's on the call too. Great. All familiar faces. Welcome, everyone. Let me go through and make sure Tom's done this. I don't see Tom on the call. And so maybe I'll just ask, I don't know if everyone's looking at this agenda as well already. I'll paste a link into chat in case you don't have it, but mostly an open call. Maybe just paste into chat if there's something you want to talk about that's not already on the agenda. But maybe I'll just go through the agenda here. The only one I know of is I know Ahmed did some work, opened a PR on Docs, and I believe on the KEDA repo itself around, oh yeah, it looks like that's on the agenda. So, okay. So Tom has a question on if anyone's had issues with HackMD. I have not, but maybe others have. Has anyone else had an issue with this HackMD tool where we do like this collaborative markdown thing?
Sometimes it's laggy for me as well, but
okay. I'm fine if we move to Google Docs. I'm fine if we keep it here. I don't really care a whole lot. I personally like Markdown a lot, which is why I chose this over Google Docs, but I have zero preference either way. So yeah, I don't really care. Maybe I'll just add in the notes, I'll say we discussed the Google, like if he wants to move it, he can move it. I don't think anyone will miss it or be sad if it's moved.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah, it looks like mine's lagging a bit right now. That's funny. This is the first time I've noticed it.
Slow for me as well.
Yeah. We're cool with Google Docs. Okay. So on the metadata one, I pinged Ahmed about this. I didn't actually look at all the pull requests, but I know he went through, he reviewed all the issues or all the metadata properties that were loading in from an environment variable. I believe maybe there's the PR in this link here too.
Yeah, the PR is over there. It's still open.
Okay, it's on the open side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Add VN right there. Yeah. I see. Yep. So he took all of the ones that are pulling in from an environment variable or secret, and he appended from env on the end of them. And so that now it's more clear from the pattern of like, should this be a literal value or are you pulling this in from an environment or secret? So it looks like there's a few comments here. Maybe this
it's just the formatting issue. So yeah. The rest of the PR is looking good for me. So if anybody wants to look at it, but for me, once the formatting is fixed, we can merge it.
Cool. Great. Any other thoughts on this item? I know we spent a bit talking about this last week, but this looks good to me.
Yeah.
Sweet. Sweet. So I'll pop in. Just need to clean up formatting on the. Next one here, Helm 2. Oh yeah, this is one of Tom's favorite issues. I wish he was on the call for some of these so he could give his 2 cents. I imagine he wants to remove support for our Helm 2 Helm chart.
So I actually have a PR in
the Helm
chart 60, and I probably didn't make this obvious enough, but I updated the chart to be Helm 2 and Helm 3 compatible. I put it as if this should allow for use both Helm 2 and Helm 3. So what this is doing is it takes the CRDs that would typically be in the templates, which Helm 2 uses the templates directory of CRDs, and uses annotations to install the CRDs. Helm 3 does not do that. And that's where this problem comes in. So what the workaround is, this you just went right past it, is this templates crd.yaml, which references the CRD directory. So this should allow for both Helm 2
I see. Great. Makes sense. Yeah, it looks like there's just some conversation around this, but it sounds like, yeah, because let me see if Tom was saying anything else with, I think we should stop supporting it so we can fix. Yeah, so Tom wants to get rid of the issue, which is people think it's broken when they install with Helm 3 because it says whatever, unsupported CRD install something. It sounds like, if I'm getting this right, Travis, you might have a PR that resolves the underlying issue while still not necessarily making it so that we have to deprecate support for V2. We could still support 2 and 3, and we would still close that issue 18.
Yep.
That's great. Yeah, that's my preference. I mean, I don't know how many people are still using Helm 2, how much it matters, but given that there might just be this kind of nice way where we load in the templates directory with this CRD file, which I don't know if you pulled this from other projects or if you're just smart enough with Helm to know this was possible.
I'm not that smart. This was I noticed this actually in WeWork's Flagger.
Yeah, great.
This has been a problem because we use Helm 2 and Helm 3. So I've had to deal with this issue.
That's great. Before. Yeah, it makes sense that this is like, we're not the only project that's probably in the spot of having CRD. So yeah, my preference would be, and I don't know how much is in this conversation, it might have to do more with the versioning if we move to the 2.0 in this thing, or if this is a 1.x thing.
Yeah, I mean, I could possibly break this PR out into 2 different things. Maybe that would be better.
I'm okay if this change. I mean, I guess I don't actually know. Like, what I was going to say is I'm okay if this change is bundled with here's how you install KEDA 2.0 in a Helm chart thing, which it looks like is something you've grabbed in here too. And I'm guessing you're updating the CRDs to have the right definition for KEDA 2. And so more or less when you start installing KEDA 2, which should be the default here in the next few weeks, you would get this behavior. I'm okay if we do that, but there is I guess I haven't actually given much thought into what happens with KEDA 1.0 Helm charts when we have 2.0. Do we need to, I know Helm has a versioning thing. I guess I don't know how thoughtful we need to be on, like, does our charts repo just at one point switch to 2.0, and if you want to do 1.0, then you have to manually pull in one of those older versions that we've stored, or do we have to have both active always?
In the chart YAML, there is an app version field that's supposed to correspond to
this one right here, right? And then I think when we're saving them, like when we run this command, that we're actually, like, it's grabbing all the previous versions as well, that we publish to our whatever GitHub page. Like, I can go in today and I can still use Helm, and I could say use chart version 1.4, and it will actually work on this repo. I think so. Yes. I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, that would make sense to update both.
Oh yeah, you're right here. Yep. So here's all the zip files that we're exposing right now from our repo, and I assume they're all indexed as well. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I guess we might have KEDA 2.x versions of the chart and KEDA 1.x. How exactly we handle that from a repo structure, I don't know, because like your PR is just changing the underlying ones. So like master, more or less, like the default would change to 2x, which I think is fine. Like I don't think we really plan on having a 1.6 release. I guess we might. Anyway, I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts. I'm kind of just rambling at this point as I'm mentally trying to piece this together. Travis fix the pending closure on when if 2.x charts get published and how the repo is structured. Okay, yeah. I think, Travis, I'd almost just kind of leave it up to you and maybe the folks on the PR. If you want to break this apart and, have a version of the chart which uses KEDA 1.5 and just gets rid of this issue, so that even if somebody does want to use KEDA 1.0, this gets rid of, I'm cool. And we honestly need, and I assume this is part of the reason you did this too, we need charts for V2. Like I've been using Zibunex's make file, which works great, but a good chunk of folks will want to use Helm as well. So we will need 2.x charts out. I'm cool if this is the thing that gets 2.x charts and closes this issue all in the same thing personally, but whatever. Other folks can chime in on that as well. Okay. Okay, so that's the Helm one. Oh, okay. Docker's policy limiting image retention and announcement for GitHub container registry. I'm just going to read this really quick, and then I don't know if anyone else has context. Docker Hub is applying throttling on polls and automatically moving image tags that are no longer used. Okay, so we probably have some older images that aren't being used very much. GitHub container registry is trying to step in and say, hey, we'll be your friendly Docker Hub. And so I guess the question is, do we move over to GitHub container registry because of the Docker Hub stuff? And Tom's saying maybe some of the reasons is that we might get better metrics. Like right now we have the top level, how many polls we have, but it just says whatever, like 100K. We don't really know what that means. So maybe there's more metrics there. I don't actually know much about GitHub registry. And yeah, obviously there would be work to modify our GitHub actions in the CI/CD process to publish to GitHub. Does anyone have any thoughts here on this one? I didn't know about Docker Hub's new policies. I don't know if they're impacting us yet or if it's just something that could impact us. Yeah, does anyone have any thoughts on this whole container registry thing?
I also heard, Jeff, that I think after that they're also starting to charge now, and so there's a premium plan or so after you reach a certain limit of downloads. Right,
that's probably what he means by the throttle.
Yeah. So maybe so that's the two options. I think either we should just get a paid account. I mean, it's not much. I think it's some $10 a month or something. But
yeah, it sounds like Docker really wants GitHub Container Registry to be successful here.
Maybe this is the partnership that they're doing with Microsoft.
I don't know.
We'll start charging so that. But I don't think GitHub Container Registry is free either. I am not sure actually.
Oh, sure, because I know they're still figuring out their whole pricing model stuff. Yeah, like I'm sure through the CNCF we could probably get a pro Docker Hub account with part of that like CNCF perk stuff. So I'm less worried about the money aspect, but I don't know. Like, yeah, there is a part. Yeah, I don't know on this one. Maybe it's something that we're all aware of now. Maybe I'm sure that there's a conversation that's got to be happening on like CNCF maintainers boards. Cause again, this is something that we're probably not the only project that's going to be a part of. And in fact, there's probably other projects that already have crossed whatever that threshold is for downloads that are in the CNCF that I'll have to figure out what to do. So maybe for the next step here, I can send an email to our CNCF rep and try to understand if there's any precedence here on what other projects are going to do. And we could kind of just follow suit.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm more, this issue is more interesting to me from a Docker strategy, but who knows? I mean, I'm tangenting, but everybody's always wondered what Docker's revenue model is going to be. And I just loved having Docker Hub, and it's sad if they're going to try to make money from it, but it makes sense. The world runs on people making money somewhere. Okay, next one is from Tom. I think it's just saying like, hey, Hacktoberfest is coming up. It's a big spot where people go contribute to the first project. I think this is a good call out. And it's mostly like, is there anything we could do on our repo to make it a very attractive place for people to come on Hacktoberfest and start to contribit something? I know is this like a
CNCF kind of thing, or
it's just like an open source community Twitter thing where people are like, hey, go contribute to a project because it's October. In the same way, it's like serverless September this month. I know we had I used to do a better job at this as well, like we have our help wanted or good first issue. Yeah, it looks like there's actually a few of these. And it looks like Tom's actually gone through and added Hacktoberfest. So maybe the issue here is more like, should we create an actual document that people could go to that maybe says like, hey, this is what KEDA is. Go, you look at these filters for Hacktoberfest.
Yeah, maybe you want to just put it on just kind of a banner on the homepage of KEDA.sh.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, and then
I guess that the note from Tom is as well about like going through the issues and maybe mark those like which are good for Hacktoberfest. Like,
yeah, he's got a few here, but going through and like there's probably older ones. Like these are all the ones he marked are within the last week. So there's probably ones that are, you know, deeper down that might actually be good candidates as well.
Yeah. These ones are new. They are recommended by Tomáš, who did some stuff on this site. So.
Oh, great. Yeah. So Thomas, yeah, maybe you even went through and added these labels. Oh yeah, Zibanek, you did as well. Okay. Yeah. This is, I think that's a good call to action for everyone. I know there's a few here. The dashboard's another one that I'm sure I would love if somebody's feeling very ambitious in Hacktoberfest. And so maybe this is just kind of like a group action item to mark items with Hacktoberfest. Good first issue, help wanted. And then I am curious on the banner thing. I'll just take note of it right now. I'm not going to sign up for this just yet. But I'll mention maybe we could put a banner on the KEDA.sh site that points to a central docs.
Yeah, and there is an interesting page from GitHub, which is the contribute page, which points new users to the good first issues also, and the contributing MD or anything it's like that. I posted it in the chat, so if you want to.
Yeah, it always takes me ages to find this one. Oh yeah, nice, great. Yeah, so they even have this view. Yeah, so yeah, honestly, we could even potentially have a banner that more or less just links you to this page. You've got the contributing guidelines, and then you've got some good first issues. Okay, yeah. Sweet. All right, it's a good call out. Yeah, I forgot Hacktoberfest was coming because this entire year has been just one massive single day. I'm glad Tom thought of it, and the rest of you. I could see labels are being added by many of you. Okay, so I reached out to the person who did the original lightning bolt, and he deferred for a few weeks. I poked someone else who I know is in the design space to see if they could add the lightning bolt, and I did not hear back. I wish I had Photoshop, because at this point I would almost just take the shot of doing it myself. But it's still, I don't have any progress here, at least from the ones that I poked. I think really it's here's the if I open this up, like this is the extra bolt emphasis that they added with like the blue shadow. This is legit the only difference, because the logo we have, it's like the cutout of the A is that shape, but you don't actually see the lightning bolt. We don't have this in SVG. We only have it in PNG. So I'll try again. I actually have a call with the person who deferred tonight at 10 p.m. I forgot about that because he's in Australia. Maybe I'll poke him and I'll say like, hey, since I'm going to do this presentation for you, maybe while I'm presenting, you can just find this file and save it as this SFG. But yes.
If there will be no response, I can help you with that one.
I'm more than happy, Tomas, if you've got, whatever, whether it's GIMP or Photoshop or Illustrator, we have SVGs for the normal icon like this one. We just don't have, you'll see here. Oh, I guess there's another SVG in here. It's just really adding some white emphasis with a blue shadow. Anyone who has moderate graphics ability will probably be able to pull it off. So yes, go for it. Take a shot. Oh yeah, this is the one. Here's the SVG. This is the source that we just need to modify. So Godspeed, Tomas. I have full confidence in you. So I will say Jeff will poke ingest the person who needed a few weeks before tweaking the SCG. Okay, sweet. Oh yeah, this is a good reminder. Let me look at what the Zoom waiting room policy is right now. They keep punting this date. Okay, so it says September 27th, which is coming up in 4 weeks, that every meeting will need a passcode. So yeah, I need to add a passcode to this one. Yeah, the only thing I keep hesitating on is how I do the passcode without people getting stuck and not knowing where to go. But it's okay. I wonder, maybe what I'll do is I can create a new meeting series with a new kind of like room thing, because we're already going to have to add a password anyway. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just add a password to this one. It's more just the logistics. Maybe I'll just add a password and I'll do a push to KEDA.sh, which has our community stuff. So this is more a heads up to all of you who are joining now. And I think I can do a world where I add a password and a waiting room. I don't know. I would love for there to be this world where somebody's trying to figure out how to join and I can say like, hey, by the way, we added a password to make Zoom happy. Because yeah, pretty much I'll just add a password here. I'll change the link so it embeds the password in the URL, and then I'll just say like the password is whatever, event driven, something silly like that. It'll probably actually be event driven will be the password. So hey, if you get prompted for a password, if you try to join in 2 weeks, come here to look at what the password is. I will plan on making the password event driven. I will update this. I will update the Google agenda, and I will post to Slack and on Twitter. So heads up, that's coming, because if we don't do it, then Zoom's going to get upset and start canceling this meeting anyway. Any other thoughts on Zoom security? Jeff will add a password this week. Yeah, and this is just Tom wishing that somebody will pick up this item. Which I don't think anyone on this call will necessarily pick it up, but it's, could we add, whatever. We should add, you know what we should add here? Some labels like good first issue and Hacktoberfest. Because I believe this is really just pulling in an updated version of the Event Hub's SDK and following the same pattern that we've done with other Azure Active Directory pod identity things. But yeah, I don't think anyone's going to sign up for it who's on this call right now. Anurag, this is more of an FYI for if like what's his name? Or Tsuyoshi wants to grab this. This is a good one we should do.
I think the question is like with anything is how much of do we have somebody who really wants to use it is blocked?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, as far as I know, this is the only, I haven't had anyone email me. Like, obviously that's not necessarily how it will happen, but like there's no Microsoft customers I know who have emailed me and said they need this. Tom obviously wants it. Yeah, right.
Or anybody who's using, yeah. So it's fair, I think.
Prioritization wise, I like getting 2.0 out the door and everything finished is like the bigger thing. But I think at this point, once this PR gets merged, I think it's really just more of a messaging thing for us. I think from a 2.0, and maybe this is a good place to pause to make sure I capture it. But I think most of the 2.0 work is completing, and now we just need to merge in like this and a few other of these V2 ones and make the push.
Yes, from my point of view, like basically, like if we merge these PRs and what else, and the Helm chart, then we are good to release the V2. So I was thinking about releasing the beta next week.
Yeah,
probably because tomorrow is Friday, which is not a good day for release. So probably if we merge those PRs, we are good to release the beta next week on Monday or Tuesday. The only thing that's missing is the migration guide for the scale jobs.
Oh, is that still pending?
I was trying to ping Tsuyoshi on Slack, but I haven't heard from him. So
is he out, Onrad? I haven't talked to him very recently, but
No. He's here. He's here. He's just working on the hackathon this week. Can you repeat that, Zibnik? I was just distracted for a second.
like it's like the finishing the migration guide and maybe another one minor like documentation issue. So maybe if he can like ping me on Slack, I can like give him like the correct.
Okay. Yeah.
thing.
I will send him. I will send him a message immediately. He can.
Yeah, more or less. And I'm showing it here. Like what Zibinek did for deployments is it was like, hey, here's just a bullet point of all the changes that we made, and here's what like scaled jobs looks like in V1, and here's now what it looks like in V2, or scaled object, I mean, which is super helpful for me. Like honestly, when I've been doing the migration, because I haven't been running the script yet that Travis had done, which I still need to do. I pretty much just come in here. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to change this property. I'm going to remove this line, and I'm going to change this property. And then I'm V2 compliant. So ideally, somebody would have the same thing. So it really is, it's just the bullet points and then a sample of V2. It looks like we already have the sample for V1 with the comments, and I think we're good.
It'd be good to add Ahmed's, or Amal's, sorry. His table.
Yes, that's true. We do need to map those broken properties now that he added in that PR.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Migration guide for scaled jobs.
And do we want to have a Helm chart for the beta release?
I'm okay if we only have the make file that you have right now, but
the make file like can produce like a one YAML file, which is long huge YAML file, which is just one file, and user can just apply this one. So
sure, rather than necessarily having make. But the only one is like, since I know Travis, you have that existing PR. Like if we get that merged in this week, even better if Helm's there, but I wouldn't necessarily, I guess what I'm saying is I don't think we need to block on Helm. If it's there, that's great.
Yeah, I agree. So if everything goes well, like with the PRs, I think that on Tuesday or something like that, I will do the release. I will sync with Tom. I guess that everything is ready.
That'd be awesome. I'll make sure to turn on all my Slack notifications, but I can up with that as well. I guess I'm out on Tuesday. But so if we actually want me to help push anything or whatever, I know Tom mostly out the block, so don't block on me, but I can block some time next week to help with this too. And sorry, on this Event Hubs one, I know I started rambling. Tomas, I think you might actually have been chiming in on something. I just want to make sure I give folks, if anyone else had thoughts on this pod identity Event Hubs thing. Okay, cool. Mostly just want to make sure I didn't give anyone else the chance. All right. So that's all the agenda items. I think this V2 list is good. And this, in my mind, is the top priority. Obviously, I've got to do this Zoom thing because I don't want Zoom to shut us down. I can send that email to the CNCF. We'll see what happens with the logo, mostly just kind of figuring out what to do with these PRs. And then maybe we'll move to Google Docs at the same time we move to a password Zoom meeting. Who knows? Anything else around V2 in general, KEDA in general, that anyone wants to bring up or chat about while we're all here?
I just wanted to add one thing to the good first issue and the Hacktoberfest idea that I think that not only we should review the current issues, but if we want to mark them with good first issue, we should provide useful description. So we should help people to onboard and understand what has to be done in the issue, not only add the label, because otherwise people will not pick up those issues because they can be hard.
It's a good one. Yeah, like I can even go through on the Event Hubs one I just did, and more or less the sentence I rambled off of, like, this is what somebody would need to do, more or less just capturing that in the issue, so that if somebody does see it, they're like, oh, okay, I need to go, check out the Event Hubs Go SDK and do the same thing they did in these lines of code on the service bus one. And then this one's done. But yeah, that'd be great if we can make sure we add useful descriptions in all these. So it's really easy to know exactly what's being asked.
Yes, and this really helps because, for example, in Apache Airflow, when I'm the maintainer, we have a lot of good first issues with good descriptions, and people are fighting to pick up those issues. And
that's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good call out. That's a very, very good call out. That's great. Yep, I'll go through some of those, and for the ones that I'm familiar with, because I know a few of those I have added the label for, make sure that I specify more of that. Great, awesome. Anything else? Sweet. Okay, thanks everyone. We've got hopefully a pretty big week next week then with this alpha release or beta release. I'm even fine if we call it release candidate release. Each of those have different connotations of quality. I've been using KEDA 2.0 happily for the last month, and so far it's been great, though granted I mostly use it for demos and presentations and not production workloads, but still the demos have all been flawless. So thanks everyone, and we'll chat again in 2 weeks in a password protected Zoom meeting.
Awesome. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
See you everyone.